January, Saturday. Hello, Instagram. Hello, YouTube. I'm doing this live right now, just waiting for my friend Aditi to come back. Yesterday, we did a little clip about personal and spiritual growth via Spirit Dictionary words. So if you haven't seen that, you can go back and to look that. Let me just let Aditi in here. Aditi at Bloomin' Raw Gal. She'll be coming in any second. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Let's see. There we go.
Hi.
Hi there, sweetie pie. How are you doing?
Wonderful. The sun's out.
The sun is out, and that's a good thing. We got it shining on both our faces. I was just telling everybody what we're going to do today is continue the conversation that you and I had yesterday, because it brought up some things in yourself that you needed to process. That's what I'm gathering, because Aditi is doing what I did to her yesterday, which was, I have no idea what she wants to talk about, but we're going to chat. So let me go back. If you have not seen the video yesterday, it would benefit you after this live to go back and watch that also. Aditi and I talked about a Spirit Dictionary word that was given to me after I asked a specific question from the universe that I was rather adamant about having an answer for. And that did happen. And I'll tell you the word was prick from the Spirit Dictionary, just to get your little vibes in, saying, oh, I need to go watch that. What I found interesting, Aditi, and I didn't share yesterday, the reason you and I got together because of this word, after I pulled that word a week or so ago from the Spirit Dictionary, I had a phrase, a quote in my head that I wanted to share, and I went on to Facebook and I went to make a post with those pre-made backgrounds that they have, and I just clicked, and I found one that had cactus on it. So I used cactus, not thinking anything, and I pasted the quote on that, and you replied to that something, and that immediately said affirmation for me that you were the one I was going to share that journey with. And then I realized a day or so later that I picked cactus, and cactus are prickly. So the affirmations and the synchronicities continue. And that's why we're here today. So Aditi had texted me after yesterday's live and said, I need to talk about something that just came up. And I said, all right, let's do another live. So here we're live, actually. Thank you, everybody. I'm live on YouTube and I'm live on Instagram. Thank you, everybody, for joining. We may or may not get to questions here. We're both kind of just putting this time in our day because it's present in our presence, and Aditi wants to talk about it. So Aditi, I'm going to hand the floor over to you.
Okay, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
This is all, part of my growth of stepping out of my comfort zone to start doing all these live, as well as kind of bringing up my shit.
We love that. Yes.
And just being real and authentic about, what is personal growth, and what does that kind of look like? I mean, so many people seem to be afraid, me, being one of them, to really be open and honest and talk about things. So anyways, here we are, and we're just going to roll through this and see how it goes.
Let's go. The floor is yours.
Okay, so right there, me saying, when I rewatched the video yesterday, one thing that I noticed that I do a lot of is the ums and the you knows. And so I thought about that last night of, where does that come from? Why do I do that? And I had a dream last night, and it was my sister and I kept pointing. I was trying to say something to her and she wasn't getting it. And I kept pointing and I was like, you know what it is, you know. And so something that keeps coming up quite often to me is when I was younger, children start to develop their speech around the age of 1. Well, something that I've been told is that I really didn't speak until I was about 3 years old. And I was told that because my sister always spoke for me. She always knew what it was that I wanted, what I needed, what I was, trying to express of, yes, this is what I need. And she always just knew, so she just did it. So all of this just came flooding in yesterday of that's what it is, from when I was a child, that developmental stage of my life to develop my speech didn't necessarily happen at the time that it was supposed to. So therefore, with that, amongst some other things that we can do a whole nother video about, has, come into play with how I express myself and how I speak and some of the words that I use, some of the words that I don't use. So that's the conversation that I wanted to have. And quite often, when these things come up after you and I talk, I reach back out and we talk and process through that. But I figured, why not do this live video to kind of go through that process of, what are your thoughts? And, does spirit come through with anything on that? So now I'll hand the floor to you.
I love that this happened this way, because we were just saying, you and I, the other day when we were talking on the phone, after an hour conversation, we're like, crap, we got to start recording these things, because that was some good shit we were saying. So this is a perfect venue for doing that. And if you don't know, Aditi and I have been friends for about 6 years now, and we know we trusted each other in truth. And that is the true commitment to an honest relationship, which is the truth, and making it safe to be honest with someone. And Aditi and I have always been that to each other. We've had our ups and downs. So I know for Donna, I've been doing these videos for so long, these lives for so long, and being a medium, that I've had to let go of things that I could have, would have, should have said or didn't say in stuff like this. I'm always about whatever was meant to happen was happened. You can't go back. You did what you were meant to do. But I also notice when things come up as I'm watching myself, like you did yesterday, the judgment that was coming up, maybe some shame, maybe some guilt, maybe some denial. And I know you're at a point in your life right now where you're looking. You have always looked at. I got to get a drink. Talk about that.
Okay. Yes, and that's part of my, personal development at this time, is really paying attention to how I'm speaking, how I'm acting, how I'm interacting with other people to shift and change and grow into, the best version of myself. So I do appreciate that, how you brought that up is looking at it as judgment. But then also the other word that comes to mind is the discernment of it, of feeling that. And so I'm going to say, on this one, that wasn't necessarily judgment, or maybe it was at first, that turned into, which was accelerated very quickly to come to, our talk today, that it wasn't the judgment of it, but maybe at first it was to turn into the discernment of how that dream appeared last night.
Absolutely, because you've judged enough of yourself in years past. So going forward now, you're looking at that outer experience that you had yesterday and bringing it to your inner world, which is what my post on Insta was this morning about the outer stuff being taken care of and being a part of the inner work. You have to look at the outer stuff to do your inner work. You have to.
Yes.
That is what it's all about. So I love the dream of your sister. And I don't know how far you want to go into that relationship, but we don't have to go into that relationship because everybody in your dream is you. So if you're projecting onto your sister, that's you. And your sister was telling you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're telling yourself, you know.
Oh, that's good. I didn't look at it that way.
Right. I know you know. And that's what we talk about a lot. And we talked yesterday about how beautiful it went down yesterday, our video, because you were in truth, speaking your truth.
Correct. Yeah.
And when you speak your truth and what you already know, the conversation flows with yourself and with others.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened after you listened to it again and watched the video again. You thought, oh, wait a minute, I need to have a conversation with myself here regarding what happened. And then the dream was just that synchronistic event that spirit and universe shows you. You got this, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So no more projection onto anybody else in your life saying to you, you don't know, because that's what your sister was telling you as a child. You don't know, so I will speak for you.
Yeah.
That was that work as a child. That happened to me as a child, right? Shut up, Donna. We know better. So we'll do this. So, just smile and move along. So when you told the story about your childhood, that's the first thing that came up in me is my inner child also saying, but I do know, let me talk.
Yeah, right.
And the first time you open up to something like that, for me, it was when I started doing readings. I had to do that inner work to say, I do know this. Why? Because it's coming through me. It's not coming to me, it's coming through me.
Good.
And accept that the universe, that spirit is showing you everything you already know.
Correct. Yeah.
You're getting more confident. Remember, 2022's purpose is stepping confidently into presence, and presence is your truth. Go.
Yes.
Your turn.
And then on the other part of the video that you shared about the 2022 of how it's accelerating so quickly, and I already kind of touched on that a little bit of just how quickly this came about. So some of the questions that I asked myself this morning is that a portion of my inner child work that I need to, that is wanting to happen? And am I doing that? Or is there something else in the process that I could be doing differently or implementing in other things to help that piece of me grow to be able to step more confidently forward into the present? Hey, that was good.
That was really good. And you see how it always comes around full circle.
Right.
So in answer to your question, you did that yesterday. You did it quickly because you already have roots. You already have tools. And now the universe is saying, just use the freaking tools, Deets. Just use the freaking tools. So you did it. You watched it. You saw it. You didn't judge because you'd done enough of that in the past. And you went into more silence mode, which is what I spoke about somewhere else this morning about in more loving silence. And you said, how can I bring this in? So yes, pieces of your childhood definitely came back around. It's an infinite loop.
Yes.
You'll continue to do this, but you're aware. You're aware of that you're doing it instead of just doing whatever you did before. which was ignore it, deny it, shame it away, whatever, shove it down, whatever.
Correct. Yes.
You're in the infinite loop now of continual knowing.
Yeah.
Which is your soul.
Yes. And you just said, I think you confirmed right there what this is all about, is not being ashamed to be truthful and honest and authentic and talk about those things, because recognizing it and talking about it is supporting in the shift to not be that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to let go of that piece, to love that inner child, to know that she can speak up for herself, and be able to, there's something that's coming, but it's not coming out of my mouth. But, you know, it's all right there.
Yes.
You see, and I just said them both in that statement.
Yes.
So it's all about growth. And I appreciate you not pushing, but accepting, you know, me wanting to do this live and just putting myself out there more. You know, it gives people the chance to open up, to be more real, to put themselves out there no matter what, and move into things more confidently. So I greatly appreciate that.
That was perfect. It is what you're feeling, and someone else out there may or may not give you that space to feel. Anybody who's watching this after or now, you notice when someone doesn't give you the space to be honest, because it'll come back and bite you in the ass most of the time. Look, I was honest, but look what happened. So why bother being honest?
Right.
Well, at some point, that's the only way to be, regardless of what happens after. It's challenging because people don't want to be near that honesty. We talked about that yesterday. People don't want to be in that type of honest relationship because they can't share yet. So they're viewing themselves as lesser than, when I don't view that at all. I love everyone wherever they are.
Yes. It's something else that's coming up right now too, is I loved that my sister helped me. You know, I love her today. She is who she is, and she did what she did because she cared. And I'm not blaming her for this at all. I'm so not. Did I at one point in time in my life? I can honestly say, yeah, I probably did. Because it's like, hey, I never had that development. But it's about developing myself now.
Yeah.
And I love that she was there to support me, and I love anytime she's there to support me. So it's all about the personal growth and development. We use sometimes other people to blame or project our shit on, but it's about taking personal responsibility for ourselves. And the other thing that I've noticed too is both of those words have come up a few times in this, but how I'm feeling about it internally has come down probably 1,000 notches.
Meaning the way it comes up in you, the emotion.
Yes, the emotion that comes up when those things do happen.
Yeah.
So thank you for doing this live video.
And there's the response instead of react. Instead of reacting, you're responding.
Correct.
You closed your mouth for a little bit, you let it sink in, and then you thought about it. And I'm sure you know this as well as everybody who's listening knows this. As children, that's our coping mechanism. We make them. That's what they are. Because as kids, we aren't able to process everything that's happening to us.
Right.
So we store it in places. We store it in muscles and tendons and ligaments, in our bones, in our joints. We store it there. And then as we grow, we have to figure out a way to get it out. For me, it was yoga and meditation. When you go through yoga and you cry because you're releasing something that was pent up there from childhood. Sometimes you do it physically, sometimes you do it emotionally, sometimes you do it both ways.
Yeah.
And that's, as an adult, that's the responsibility we must take. We must take in order to accelerate this sixth paradigm shift, because these synchronicities that we're having now, these seamless present moments, these instant manifestations, which is what I call yesterday, because this came up for you instantaneously, you were able to process it instantaneously. So those moments of instant manifestation, whether it's something physical, emotional, doesn't matter. That's what the sixth dimensional paradigm shift is a perk of. It's a perk of that. Yay, it's a perk. We got a promotion.
Good stuff.
It is good stuff. I'm happy you were able to. For everybody here, Aditi wanted to talk about it yesterday afternoon, and I'm like, yeah, I'm tired. I'm not talking about it today. Wait till tomorrow, we'll bring it up again. And of course you're able to bring it up. You don't have that emotional connection. It was for you, the way it came up yesterday, it was just matter of fact.
Yeah.
Because you're done with the emotional piece of it.
Correct. Yeah. And, had we talked about all of this yesterday, maybe that dream would have happened to really bring clarity into what that was, that, my two go-to phrases, it really brought that very, very clear of where that stems from.
Yep.
So,
and you'll always have the opportunity now. Whenever you hear yourself, you'll say, oh, now I know where it comes from. I can let go of that. It doesn't have to happen anymore. It doesn't have to happen anymore. I'm not holding on to that anymore. Same thing with past life work. We've done past life work. Same thing.
Yes.
You're bringing that piece of yourself, whether it's an inner child piece of you, whether it's a past life piece of you, you're bringing that person back. That person was always with you. They were just kind of hanging out over there in the outskirts, right? In your head.
Yes.
And we call it a past life. It's the same. It doesn't make a difference whether they're in your head sitting or they're in a past life sitting. It's all the same. It's all one. There's that infinite loop.
Yes.
It's not separate pieces.
No, it's all together.
It's all together. It's all happening still right now. And when you're able to tap into it, which is what you did, love it, you're able to tap into it and it just went. It went.
Yep.
And you got the confirmation through your dream.
Yes.
I love you.
I love you. Thank you. And it feels good to process this through on live even.
You just put yourself out there even more.
Yes,
when you put yourself, I love live events. I've always said this before to everybody, every event I've done. I love live events because you put yourself to a task. You can't go back and edit it.
Right.
You get excited because someone's watching, whether it's one person or 50,000 people or nobody.
Right.
You're speaking in the presence. Can't change it. You can't change it.
No.
So you're ready for it. You've done this. You're ready for it. It feels good. It's addicting. I get it. I'm like, what else can I do?
Right. Oh, we've got plenty more coming.
We do. And watch out for the acceleration. Like I just found myself, someone mentioned to me, someone mentioned to me last night, you should email this person about doing their podcast. I said, okay, I'll look at it. Thank you. When I looked at it about an hour ago, this guy's podcast, he's got popular people on there. Like people have big people. I said, why would this person want Donna Boyle on his podcast when he could get Neil Donald Walsh, when he could get, he gets these big people. But I thought to myself, that woman who told me that last night, Tanya, she knows something that I don't know right now.
Correct. Yeah.
So I trusted her. I don't know where she pulled his name out of her hat. I don't know how that came to her. But I trusted her and I said, yep, I'm going to shoot off this email. This guy's probably going to either say, wow, this is great, or forget that.
Right,
but that's not the point. The point was that I did it, and that I saw myself just as able to do a podcast like that as I would to one who, has 20 followers.
Correct. Yes.
That I am worthy of that.
You are worthy of that, for sure.
And there's that acceleration. I hit that send button without even thinking about it. I'm like, fuck it, send it.
Yep, do it. Yep. What's the worst that's going to happen?
There is no worst that's going to happen.
Exactly my point.
There's nothing. Because I'm confident.
Yes.
I've confidently stepped into my presence. Regardless of who listens or doesn't listen, or watches who doesn't watch, or wants or doesn't want. I've stepped confidently into my own presence. Whatever that comes now, I'm ready for.
Yes.
And that's
Me
what
too.
That's what you're saying also.
Yes, that's absolutely what I'm saying. Why not? Let's do it. It's not going to hurt anything. It's only going to support the growth and expansion. And I'm all about it.
All about that. And remember you said yesterday, or maybe it was the day before, we've talked so much in the last few days, that kind of judging a little bit of the past self that didn't do the work or didn't get to this point sooner.
Yes.
Right? And I was like, Aditi, please, I spent 15 years with that guy that I shouldn't have spent 15 years, right? So there's no judgment, or I didn't waste time. But then Spirit, has been telling us this time has now happened. Earlier, it wouldn't have happened like this. We needed this shift. We needed this paradigm, this newness to step into this. So we couldn't have done this work before.
Nope, absolutely not.
This is the moment to do that work. This is the moment to do that work. So everybody that's listening, this is the moment. This is the new.
The new.
So I got a few people that joined on YouTube saying thank you. Hi, Matthew. Darren, thank you so much. Darren says, I love that, and that makes sense. Somebody else is saying, hello, beautiful soul. I'll accept that. Hello, beautiful. You guys can't see Aditi. She's just as beautiful. But you feel her vibration.
Yes. Okay. Well, that's all I've got at the moment. Is there anything else you would like to add?
Nope. I'm going to thank everybody that joined and keep watching for our lives. They may go up with some warning, or they may not go up with any warning.
Yeah, that's right.
But Aditi, you have a great day. Everybody that's on right now, have a wonderful day. We love that you share and subscribe. Yes. Whatever you can do to move this vibration along, we're on it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. I am ending YouTube now. See you, everybody.